Jerry Brown, Attorney General of California, sued those Wall Street bastards for stealing the mortgages of hundreds of thousands of Californians. He took care of the firefighters with the first cancer presumption law in the history of America. He gave teachers the right to collectively bargain for a good wage for the first time in the history of California. He gave school employees the right to collectively bargain for a good wage for the first time in the history of California. He gave state workers and city workers the opportunity to collectively bargain for a decent wage for their families for the first time in the history of California. And he gave farm workers, the opportunity to collectively bargain for the first time in the history of America. Jerry Brown, who created 1.9 million jobs when he was governor and a budget surplus. Jerry Brown, who knew how to give jobs to families. Jerry Brown for governor again. Jerry Brown is going to help us create more jobs for families for the future. He's going to help us build the economy from the bottom up for families for the future. Jerry Brown. Jerry Brown is going to help us recreate the California dream again. Say it again. Jerry Brown. Jerry Brown. Jerry Brown. Jerry Brown. Jerry Brown. Jerry Brown for governor. Jerry Brown for the future. Jerry Brown for the California dream. Here he is, Jerry Brown.
Thank you. Okay. You know, after a while I get tired of hearing my name. So can we get another chant? Like, si se puede? Or we're going to take California back? Or we're Californians first, members of a party second? Those are good things to say and important ideas. Okay? And by the way, this is not just about one person. It's not just about who the next governor is. It's about all the people of California pulling together. That's right. If we pull together, if we act like Californians first and make the tough choices, we can restore the prosperity to our state. And we will. Look, when you look at the unemployment rate, it can be discouraging. When you look at the people losing their homes, people still losing jobs, you know, it shakes you. I've never seen in my life such a dire set of circumstances. But don't lose faith. I haven't lost faith either. California is a rich state. Every time we had a recession before, we always came back. We'll come back again. It's going to take some time. It's going to take shared sacrifice. It's going to be doing stuff out of our comfort zone. All of us, business, labor, individuals. But if we pull together, we are part of the most powerful economic and social place in the whole world. California is not a logo to be rebranded by Meg Whitman. California is a place. It's a people. And it's a people that is so dynamic and so creative that people from all over the world want to come here. And they're still coming here. And because they're coming here, it's not a time to scapegoat immigrants or scapegoat public employees. You know, the other side thinks they can divide and conquer, thinks they can create fear and loathing on the campaign trail. I say it's not a time to divide people in California, it's a time to unite them, bring us together, to build together. And yes, we got some tough times ahead. But remember, when you say California is a rich state, last year, the wealth created by Californians was 1.8 trillion. 1.8 trillion. There's only 7 countries in the world that even come close to that, okay? 7. That means our deficit, which is huge, is but a small fraction, about 1% of our overall annual wealth. So the problem is not that we're poor, the problem is we're divided. We have a politics that's broken, and we have one party that says the answer is cutting $17 billion out of the budget to give tax breaks to people who have not suffered from the downturn and the foreclosures and the Wall Street meltdown. This is not a time to be driving a bigger hole, almost doubling the budget deficit to take care of the most powerful and the most affluent people in the world. They're taking care of themselves, and we want to work with them, but we don't want to gut our schools, our hospitals, our roads, and every other part of our state service just on this pipe dream that if you just keep taking money out, you'll somehow magically get it back. Well, it didn't work in Washington, it won't work here. What it takes is people working, creating value, creating the kind of things we need. And when we look at that, I thought it was pretty interesting. The head of the National Petroleum and Petrochemical Council said, those people in California, they actually want to reduce oil consumption. Oh my goodness. Oil consumption, it costs America hundreds and hundreds of billions going out. And when the money goes out, it doesn't put someone to work here. But I propose a new green energy strategy whereby we hire Californians. And when you hire somebody to retrofit a building, to make it more energy efficient, when you put up a solar collector either on your roof or over a store or over the water project or a major central based solar plant and you build a transmission line, that's all Californians. That and the money stays here. You take the sun, you take the wind, you take good old-fashioned efficiency and you roll it back into the California economy and multiply several times over. And we will restore ourselves not by sending money to Saudi Arabia or Nigeria or wherever the hell all that oil's coming from, but to invest in our own people. That's the way forward, okay? We can make it. So, now one thing, it is a little screwed up, but I just want everybody to know, I'm not in Sacramento, I'm from Oakland, okay? And all the stuff that's been going wrong here, it's under, well, I know I got some legislators here, but it's those people up here. So I just want that lady to know, you know, her fellow party member, he's in charge. Mr. Schwarzenegger, he's representing the Republican Party, not the Democratic Party. But whatever it is, we got to start afresh. And I'm not going to be, you know, spending a lot of time traveling all over the world, going to a lot of fires. I'm going to start right after the November election. We're going to call all 120 legislators together. We're going to focus on this budget. We're going to go down each issue, and we're going to bring in groups, business, labor, and we're going to talk about it. It's like a big collective bargaining, sitting around the table. What do you propose? What do you want to do? And we forge out of that conflict, and it'll be difficult, a common purpose, a common path forward. We're only going to make it when we pull together, recognize what's on the table, not the smoke and mirrors, the hocus pocus of so much budget activity. I'm going to level with you. I'm going to tell you the truth. Look, I've lived in this state all my life, and I've voted all my life in this state. I love California, and that's why at this stage of my life, I want to come back to Sacramento and do everything I can to get California working again. And I want to just say, look, you can look at my record, you know, there are things, warts, you get a little scar tissue as you do things in life, but I'm a real person. I'm not an advertisement. And I identify with you. I know what it's like, because I've seen a whole wide variety of life here. And we got to pull together. If we do, we'll get it done. The wealth is there, the goodwill is there, but it takes the leadership that's going to talk straight, that's going to level with people. No more puffy plans and snappy slogans. This is a time for truth. It's a time for tough decisions. Right. It's a time for living within what the people are giving us. And in that respect, you can't buy the confidence or trust of the people. They're distrustful of government, but you're not going to win their trust by trying to buy it. It's not for sale. You have to earn it. You've got to, and that is really the most important job of the next governor, winning the trust of the people, leveling with them, and all of us as Californians rethinking what it is we want as a state. What do we need? What don't we need? How are we going to pay for it? That is not just for the governor or the legislature, that's for all the people of this state. And that's what I'm dedicated to, reigniting that pioneer spirit that brought my relatives here. My great-grandfather used to drive this stagecoach from what they call Hangtown to Sacramento. So we've been here a long time. We don't want to see this state sink or get screwed up by a bunch of East Coast philosophy that says, you know, the bonus system, it works so well on Wall Street, and only caused a $10 trillion meltdown. We want to try that in our schools. Why don't we try bonuses in schools? Hey, it didn't work on Wall Street, it won't work in the classroom.
That's right.
It's kind of a no-brainer. What we have to do is help our teachers and provide the funding and do what is necessary to get schools working. And school is about a relationship. It's not input, output.